Hey, welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking around. We're in the last segment of the show with special guest of the show, Fader Strohmeyer, talking about this sort of interesting month and a half it's been in the world of women's issues.
You can stop saying that now.
Yeah, it's a terrible term.
It kind of is. These are not issues that just affect women.
No, it's not. But it also serves to pigeonhole them, and that's been something that especially women in feminist studies fields all over the country have been saying for years and years and years. I know one of my professors at Iowa had a huge issue with it, but it's like Kleenex, right? Not all tissues are Kleenex. And that's what, but it's the name for it now, and that's what kind of stinks, because you're absolutely right. We talk about these things as if they are special, unique, and isolated. As a man who has a mother and a sister, I can tell you that these things are not isolated just to them. They also affect my dad and me and all of the other men with women in their lives, and so it's very important. It's important to talk about them, but it's important to talk about them, in my opinion, in a sort of organic kind of all-encompassing. That's not the word I wanted, but sort of way. So, but one of the things that I criticize conservatives for is they complain a lot. They hate the Affordable Care Act, but don't have a fix. They hate...
Well, the fix in that one, obviously, is to stop funding it, because
Right. They hate Planned Parenthood, but don't have any sort of recourse for how to get these vital services to low and moderate income. When they hate the Iran deal and have no alternative. And so we've done a lot of complaining about the attack on women's choice in this country. And I want to try and attempt, at least. And we're already doing better, because most of these folks don't even make the attempt to come up with some solutions. Now, the obvious solution we already know, because it's been demonstrated to work, is to fully support, fully fund access to contraception for everybody.
Yes,
for everybody, and so that would,
and not just access, but education.
Yes. And why is education so vital to this particular issue?
Well, okay, so you remember being a teenager, I assume.
Barely, but yeah.
So this is a problem that starts actually earlier than that. Apparently, parents are now being recommended to start having the talk with their kids at first grade. Where certainly when I was in school, I think it was middle school, 6th or 7th grade, somewhere in there. You already have to start having that conversation, because these are things that happen. But we're not talking about the right things, because we're talking about, so often we're talking about, you should just not have sex, and here are ways to say no, and here are things that you can do. This is the talk that they give to girls, by the way. These are things that you can tell your boyfriend if he really wants to sleep with you and you don't want to and you're not ready. So here's a whole list of things that you can tell him, and that's totally okay. That's not... Those things are helpful to say too. And we can have a whole other discussion about rape culture some other time and why that's a problem. But some other helpful things to talk about that aren't discussed are... Okay, what if you do want to have sex, especially if you're a woman? What if you do want to do that? How can you do it safely? And that's the part that we're missing. So personally, what I would really like to see is much better, much more comprehensive sex education in the schools starting... God, I don't really want to start that in first grade, but you have that conversation has to start somewhere. There are kids apparently who don't understand what it means to be a virgin, and have had intercourse of one type or another, and don't understand what things will result in pregnancy and what things will not. And they don't, even more serious, we've been talking about pregnancy, but don't understand what things can cause disease and not, and how you prevent that. So that's where I'd start right away, is education.
So, education is a big, and who should be doing this? because this is the big quagmire, because parents all over the country now are calling for your head because you're trying to take the talk away from them. You see this all the time. Is this a school thing? Should it be? And if it's not going to be, how do we get parents to do it in a country where we really can't force folks to do much in this regard?
And that's, again, my position most of the time would be none of this is the government's business. And so I would love to leave this up to families to have that talk. And if you want to have that talk that's just don't have sex until you're married, fine, have that talk.
And I can tell you...
But also let's talk about things that we know from scientific research that we know happen. Let's talk about how you get pregnant. Let's talk about how you get STDs. And I guess let's have that in the schools so that we know it's happening and we know what type of conversation is being had. That's, I think, going to be a better result in the long run.
One of the things about this country that sometimes when the government gets involved and it works is because there's been a breakdown in some other institution. And I can tell you, everybody who might be listening to this, that it makes it easier if it's a family member. It certainly makes it more comfortable if it's a parent or somebody that you trust, that you have trusted since the very minute you opened your eyes. It is not as much fun to hear about this stuff from a teacher or from a counselor or from a quote-unquote professional. Not that their credentials are called into question at all, but they're not your people, and they don't know you. Not really.
Yeah.
And
but is this a situation where we can really afford to accept comfort over? It's not about it's not basic safety right at this point.
No, of course not. I'm not necessarily disagreeing. I'm saying, parents, you got to do it. You just have to do the work. You have to do the lift here because it will be better in the long run. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
The family, in my opinion, is the most rational place for this discussion to occur. However, it's not happening. Sure. You'd think that if it was happening, then we would have a more stable kind of sort of early pregnancy rate, or some, at least the numbers wouldn't look so awful across the like in different parts of the country.
Sure.
And you got to do the work, folks. You have to do the work. Well, Faders, thank you so much for coming on. Really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation. I know that I certainly did. She's a very smart person, and we're glad that she was able to spend an hour with us this evening. I want to thank Ryan, our producer, who's done an admirable job filling in today. We want to give a special shout out to Maddie, who is going to be back next week, I believe, and she's taking care of that brand new baby that we're all anxious to meet around here. Adorable. The pictures are really cute. So good night, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. Doc will be back next week if his motorcycle starts, and I will be here as well. So please join us again next Tuesday, 6:30 to 7:30 on docandlefty.com, webcast1live.com. Check out our sponsors. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, social, everything else, and our content at docandlefty.com. We certainly do appreciate your support and your attention. So good night, and be safe.
Hi, I'm Representative Tom Shaw, and I love these guys. Both of them.
Love these guys. Get over here. Get over here. Love both of them.
From the RE/MAX Real Estate Concept Studios, this is Webcast One Live.
I'm Brian Leach, owner of Service Legends, and my position is Chief Talent Officer.
I'm Nicholas Wonderscheid.
I am Bernie Homs.
And I'm the Service Manager.
Marketing Director and Client Relations Manager.
Everything that we do is about ensuring that we exceed your expectations.
Our clients are important to us. 100% satisfaction.
We're not just focused on heating and cooling. That's the easiest part of our job, actually, is fixing furnaces and air conditioners.
Everyone that we come in touch with, we want to improve lives.
Bottom line is, we've got our installation guarantees, 25% energy savings guarantee, comfort guarantee, temperature selection guarantee, property protection guarantee.
100% satisfaction guaranteed. Fixed rate or it's free.
All of those guarantees are backed up with a 100% money-back guarantee to hold ourselves accountable to making sure that you get what you're after.
Just fixing the problem today. If they have another problem 5 days down the road, it's still fixed right or it's free.
We use what's called straightforward pricing. Our technicians are going to give you an exact to-the-penny price on what it's going to take before they move forward with any repair. That way you know what to expect.
It's the same price every day.
No surprises.
If you get off work at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, you come home, you realize that, oh, my furnace is broken. Now you need to call somebody out that night. You shouldn't have to pay more for that.
We're guaranteeing service 24/7.
We run afternoons, evenings, nights, weekends. We're staffed to work that.
Phone rings at 3 in the morning. You'll get one of our representatives answering the phone every time.
We're not sending you out to Timbuktu in some call center. It's our Service Legend team members, our mission control team.
I'll take a call anytime.
And then they answer the phones the same way during the day as they do at night.
It's a great day at your service company. How can we make you smile?
That's the only way to provide true 24-hour service.
When you're able to let somebody actually live in their home safely when they weren't able to do that before, where they don't have to stay up at night and worry about, is the heat going to come back on? Are we going to freeze the pipes? Is the baby in the room next door going to be sick because they got too cold? When you're able to help somebody overcome challenges like that, that's impacting a life. That makes a difference. I get goosebumps thinking about it.
I love the team. I love the people that I work with.
We have fun, but we work hard.
I call them my ambassadors of legendary service. If you could just envision what that is, that's who we're sending to your home.
They literally will call in, pick up the phone and call and say, hey, I want to talk to your manager. And I get on the phone, they're like, that technician that was at my house was the greatest technician ever. That's cool to me.
We want to brighten people's days.
Every person that we have going into the house has gone through an extensive background check.
Drug testing, we have a very thorough interview process that 1 out of 140 people make it through.
If we promise you something, that's what you're going to get, no matter what.
We're here when you need us to protect the safety and comfort of your family.
If you're not happy, we're gonna make it right.
If we're willing to put 100% money-back guarantee on what we do, what type of work do you think we do?
Give us a call. We're there for you 24/7, 365 days a year.
Enough said.